Hello, this is Rural New Yorker with RivalNewYork.com. I'm going to be doing an unsportsmanlike segment featuring the Giants free agency. I've seen a lot of stuff in the news that just makes me want to just say, free agency, just get here because, um, you know, it's been really annoying to read about Jason Pierre-Paul consistently. Continue to hear about Rashad Jennings and Victor Cruz, which is where we will start, along with some other random ideas that I don't like. So either way, I'm going to bring it together for you, say what the Giants should do and what we should stop talking about. So first off, Rashad Jennings, 3.3 yards per rush. I think that sort of explains it. He had 3 touchdowns. He wasn't even a goal line back with any consistency. So there's been a lot of news about how he saw the writing on the walls. Yes, we all did. We all have already moved on from you. Victor Cruz, there was a little bit more sentiment. Don't try to get on the Victor Cruz train. That you were a long-time Giant, you're going down, you're not Justin Tuck, come on. So either way, Rashad Jennings, your career's probably over. I'm glad you made some money. Just let's move on from that. Victor Cruz, 39 receptions, 586 yards, and 1 TD, 39.1 yards per game, all below his career norms, below his 16-game averages. He's just not the player he was. Maybe he rebounds. Maybe he needed 1 season to get his legs. But honestly, I think you would have seen him come on closer to the end of the season. He scored his touchdown in his first couple games. So it wasn't like he's going to be raring to go. I mean, he's getting older. He suffered some strong, some real injuries. And, the Giants just need to move on from that. And it is sad to see him go. But let's stop talking about it. I know he went down to see the Carolina Panthers. But, yeah, of course he's going to do that. Ultimately, I do think he's going to wind up in a situation where, he tapers off like a Steve Smith, Ruben Randall, Hakeem Nicks, where we don't hear about him again, which is sad because everyone loved Victor. I mean, come on, and I love pretty within a pretty close drive to Patterson, so it's hometown boy. You like to see him do well, and it's sad that he couldn't have done better. So we could have kept him at a lower contract so we could do some things. So either way, let's move on. I've already done an unsportsmanlike on that. Now let's get into it. So I'm tired of hearing about Adrian Peterson. I'm tired of hearing about, Jason Pierre-Paul. Jason Pierre-Paul and Olivier Vernon really didn't do much. We might have had a very good defense, but if anyone saw, we gave quarterbacks way too much time to get the ball out. And really, the only reason we had a good defense was Spagnuolo mixed it up with coverage scheme, and we saw that our coverage group was really strong. So they were the ones who allowed them to get any type of pressure because Vernon and Pierre-Paul were not doing it. And he scored most of his sacks against subpar teams all in sort of a clump right before he got injured. So let's move on from Jason Pierre-Paul. We do not need to, even if it was $12.5 million, I don't want to sign Jason Pierre-Paul. There are plenty of other alternatives for $5 to $7 million. Jabal Seard, Mario Addison. So let's focus there, but let's first take care of our biggest concern, which we're going to get to in a second. I want to first hit on wide receiver. Wide receiver, let's go with the Kenny Britt, Anquan Bolden, possession-like receiver. I think that would be someone who we could keep down in the $5 to $6 million area, sign up to a 1 or 2 year deal, and just go from there. We don't need to bring in somebody who's going to cost a lot of money, who might have a little bit more upside. We've got 2 good wide receivers. We need a 3rd wide receiver who can give maybe some looks in the red zone. Before I move to that, what the Giants should do, Martellus Bennett. Let's stop talking about Martellus Bennett. Come on, he was on the team. He really wasn't he wasn't a top 5 tight end when he was with the Giants. So now that he helps the Patriots, works within their offense, which it really just has no answers year after year after year. No, the defenses just don't have answers unless they're the New York Giants. So let's not pay him for what he did in New England. Let's not even think about that. He's getting older. We already went down that route. We should have kept him. There was no reason not to renew him when he left. I mean, I don't want to see Will Tye, Larry Donnell-esque, tight ends out there this year. But either way, maybe we do something in the draft, but I don't want to see us spending on a tight end. Now, what should we do? Andrew Whitworth. If he becomes available and he's interested in becoming the Giants, we should make that investment. 35 years old as a left tackle. That sounds scary, but he literally is consistent. I think he's got 8 years of of playing in 14 or more games, and it might actually be more than. I think he missed like maybe 2 games in his last 8 years or something. It was something crazy when I was looking at the stats. So, Giants, come on, find a way to get Andrew Whitworth. Eli can do it if he's got more time. You could see mid-season he was quickly like. It was just like he'd wait. There was like a shorter timer. He was like David Carr. There was a shorter timer in his head, and all of a sudden he would just get it out, and there was nobody around him because he was so scared of getting hit because they weren't, his blind side was not being protected. So let's invest in Andrew Whitworth. I mean, I hope he doesn't go back to the Bengals or slip to another team, but come on, let's do this. Jerry Reese, let's get him, and we'll go from there. But let's stop talking about Adrian Peterson and other expensive options of guys that you're paying them for the careers they had versus the work they're going to do for you on the field. So either way, so check back in with RivalNewYork.com. This is Royal New Yorker signing off. We've got a lot of great things going live later this week. The biggest thing is tomorrow we're doing first baseman rankings for fantasy baseball. So check back in. Let us know what you think about these fantasy assessments tomorrow because there's some bold ones in there and some things to think about.